All right, here's Savannah Sherman. Savannah's going to read her top 11 lines from English 11. All right, Savannah, go.
Best line from a short story, from The Crucible. I thought I saw someone, naked, running through the trees in Paris.
And why is that important to you?
I thought it was funny, and I liked when we acted out the Crucible. Best line from an essay. I believed I could become an influence, therefore I became one. That's the last line from an essay that I wrote that won $200, so that was my favorite. Best line of poetry. She gave me life and milk from her breasts, and I gave her a lanyard from Billy Collins. I thought it was funny. Best line from a novel. So It Goes, from Slaughterhouse-5. I read that book over the summer, and I thought that was pretty accurate. It's just kind of like life goes, and so it goes. Best line from a song lyric. Heather Klein came back from Australia and showed us a song from YouTube that became really popular. It's you didn't have to stoop so low, have your friends collect your records and then change your number. I guess that I don't need that though. Now you're just somebody that I used to know by Godier, and I like that song. Best line from a movie. That is Mahogany by Effie Trinket from The Hunger Games. I like that movie. Best line from television. Sometimes when people are rude to me, I pray they get run over by a huge truck from Toddlers and Tiaras. Best line from a famous person. When the sun comes up, I have morals again.
Who said that?
Elaine Whistler. She's a comedian. I just like her line. Best line from a classmate when one of the kids in period 6, some teacher came in and they're like, oh, I saw Mrs. Lackey, now I can see Mr. Lackey, and he goes, it's your Lackey day. Best line from a teacher. It's on the freaking desk, freak, by Mr. Lackey. And best line from wherever. Savannah, your voice is like 1,000 angels singing off key.
All right, you guys, I figured it was only fair if I did my top 11 lines from English 11. So, 5 minutes ago I went through the book and this is what I came up with. All right, number 1, the best line from a short story. It's from The Devil and Tom Walker. A few miles from Boston. Why The Devil and Tom Walker, you may ask? Because The Devil and Tom Walker is founded on the Faust legend, and the Faust legend is what led Robert Johnson to the crossroads. Same story, right? Sell your soul to the devil, become an awesome guitar player. And if you go to page 929, there's a picture of Muddy Waters. So when I read that story, I think about Muddy Waters and the blues, and I think, I could do this job. All right, number 2. Best line from an essay is from Martin Luther King. It's on page 301. He said, oppressed people deal with their oppression in 3 ways. And I'll paraphrase: acquiescence, violence, or nonviolent resistance. And you know which one he chose. Number 3, best line from poetry. I had trouble with this because I really like poetry. So I picked 2. The first one is from T.S. Eliot. Let us go then, you and I. I think that's nice. It's invitational. And then the second one's from Robert Frost. And it's probably from Robert Frost's last poem. And it ends with, you come too. So between the 2 of those, I think that's a nice pair. Okay, best line from a novel. You don't know about me unless, from the beginning of Huck Finn. And if you really want to know about it and all that David Copperfield kind of crap, Holden, right? So Huck and Holden. Best line from a song lyric. The pump don't work because the Vandals took the handle. Bob Dylan. You figure out what that means. Best line from a movie. Bueller. 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 Best line from television. I just don't know. Christopher Lloyd, Taxi. It's a million years ago, but you know, it's still in my head.
That was a good impersonation of him.
I just don't know. Best line from a famous person. Anything by Thoreau. Time is but a stream I go a-fishing in. Simplify, simplify, simplify. The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. A man does not keep pace with his companions. Perhaps it's because he marches to the beat of a different drummer. Best line from classmates from my wife. Your life's your attitude. Best line from a teacher is from my best teacher. Her name was June Berkeley. She taught high school for a long time, and then I had her for my methods class at OU this spring, maybe it was fall. It was the fall after she retired. And I didn't know I was going to be an English teacher until I took her class, which was the last class you're supposed to take in your sequence. I took it first, and then everybody else went off to do their student teaching. I had to go back and take Education 101, and I took it 103. Anyway, she quoted Francis Bacon, who said, when you read, you should weigh and consider before you make up your mind about what you read. Weigh and consider. That's stuck with me for a long time. And the last one is the best line from Wherever, and it's from the end of Walden, where Thoreau says, only that day dawns to which we are awake. There's more day to dawn, the sun is but the morning star. So I like to think about that when I look around and sometimes see people sleeping. Hey, only that day dawns to which we are awake. So wake up and enjoy the dawn. Alright?
Alright. My best quote from a short story came from Crevacore, and it said, from voluntary idleness, servile dependence, penury, and useless labor, he has passed the toils of a very different nature, rewarded by ample substance. This is an American. I think this is important because it shows that the values of America have pretty much remained the same ever since we got here. Americans are humble, hardworking, and dependable. I thought that was cool that these same things that they were writing about in the 1700s are still useful today. My best quote from an essay came from the Wall Street Journal, and it said, we are fortunate, however, we will have a great generation of artists and intellectuals like those of the 1930s to help us imagine our way past confusion. This was referring to the recession we're currently in, and it just gave me a sense of optimism that we're going to have some great artists like we did after the Great Depression, and this will lead to some great intellectual renaissance. Best line of poetry was from Henry Wadsworth Longfellow in A Psalm of Life. It said, lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints in the sands of time. And I thought this was cool because it shows that anyone can be significant, because a lot of people walk through life feeling like they're insignificant, they don't matter, but this poem shows that everyone is, and everyone has an impact in this world. My best quote from a novel comes from Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, and it said, why I didn't learn to treat everything like it was the last time. My greatest regret is how much I believed in the future. This is Oscar saying this, referring to his dad's death, because he feels guilty that he couldn't do something special the last time he saw his dad. I thought that was impactful because you never know when something's going to happen or when your life's going to get turned upside down. So you should treat every moment like it's your last. My best quote from a song lyric, I'm going to sound like a complete jock with these, couple three coming up, because they're all about football and sports. But best quote from a song lyric comes with Kenny Chesney. It's from The Boys Have Fallen. It said, it's knocking heads and talking trash, it's slinging mud and dirt and grass. It's I got your number, I got your back when your back's against the wall. You mess with one man, he got us all. The boys have fallen. And this just shows how much of a brotherhood that a football team truly becomes over the course of a season, because you're out there with them every day and they become a family. It sounds cliche, but they really do become your brothers. Best quote from a movie is from Friday Night Lights, and it said, being perfect is not about the scoreboard out there. It's not about winning. It's about you and your relationship with yourself, your family, and your friends. Being perfect is about being able to look your friends in the eye and know that you didn't let them down because you told them the truth. And that truth was everything you could. There wasn't one more thing you could have done. Can you live with that in this moment as best you can? With clear eyes, full hearts, and not losing it? If you can do that, gentlemen, then you're perfect. And that just pretty much sums up, it's a good life lesson to just tell the truth, and the truth is always better than anything else. And when you tell the truth, then you're pretty much close to perfect. Best quote from television is always the opening line from SportsCenter, and it's just, this is SportsCenter. I liked it because it was very simple, and it's pretty much how I start off every morning. A lot of times how I go to bed at night. SportsCenter is just a big part of my life, just because it's the best sports show. Best quote from a famous person is, I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying. That comes from Michael Jordan. He is one of the most quotable athletes, I think, of all time, and this quote shows why. And I think it's really good because, I mean, there are people that don't try and stuff. I mean, I always like trying new things because I know that if I fail the first time, it won't really matter because it's my first time doing it. And so I think that the real character in someone is really shown when, after they fail, if they try that thing again. Best quote from a classmate comes from the corner group over there. I think we've all said it a couple times a month. And it was like, wait, we're supposed to do that too? Oh shoot, I'm so screwed. And you can switch the language up and use different language there. But, because it pertained to all the things that Mr. Lackey would assign us, and sometimes we wouldn't catch a part and we'd miss out on something, so that's something we would say. And best quote from a teacher is along the same lines as from Mr. Lackey. He said, "Oh wow, look at what this girl wrote. You guys are all screwed." Just because some girls would have notes and highlights and everything, and I would just have a few like bullet points written down just because I got the main idea. And it just taught me to be more detailed in my work. And the best quote from wherever is from Douglas Adams, who's a comedian. He said, "Flying is just learning to throw yourself on the ground and miss." And this just shows that you shouldn't overcomplicate things. So, I mean, if you go through life trying to overcomplicate things, you'll just stress yourself out. So, if you take things easy, stuff will happen eventually. So, that's it.
All right.